So I recently completed 2 years on the Chevy Bolt EUV Premium. I've driven this vehicle for about 25,000 miles. I use it almost daily for my commuting to work and other personal things. I just want to do a quick 2-year review video of the good things about this car and some things that could be improved or done better. So the rest of the video would be shot using the Ray-Ban Meta glasses that I'm wearing, so you can see first-person point of view about things that I'm going to share. So one of the great things about this car over the last 2 years that I found out is its Super Cruise. It's very relaxing. It lets you grab a snack, enjoy the sight sometimes, but of course you got to keep an eye on the steering wheel once every few seconds so it doesn't kick you off the Super Cruise mode. I definitely do enjoy the Super Cruise. I think it's probably one of the best features of this car, along with this rear view camera. I think most people who've had different types of EVs have sat in this car. Their first impression of this view has been wow. It not only is great in the day because it gives you end-to-end view of the back of the car, covering not only your lane but the lanes right next to it as well, but it also functions very good in the night time. As soon as sun sets and right around that time before it's super dark, the light is actually very bright compared to the real light outside, which lets you navigate traffic better. Also, if you get really used to this, I think the downside is you use less of the side mirrors, the rear view mirrors, but I think how I would use it, or how I do use it, is use this in conjunction with this, so they basically complement each other. I always love to look at this first, my rear view camera, and then I like to look at my side view mirrors. So yeah, this is probably the second best feature of the car for me, the rear view camera, giving you 3-lane view, and the first best feature of the car is definitely the Super Cruise, which lets you, grab a drink of water or have breakfast or enjoy the sight as you're driving. Besides that, I also like the leg room. I'm about 5'7" tall, and I have sufficient leg room. All the passengers at the back of the car, as well as right next to the driver's seat, have always enjoyed enough leg room as well. The air conditioning is pretty good throughout the car. Something again that medium budgeted EV is doing a great job at. I also do love the entertainment system in this car. It has pretty cool features. You can pair multiple devices on Apple CarPlay or Android equivalent CarPlay. You have this multiple view screen which you can always use to divide between your music or your media and the navigation. As you can see here, the volume's pretty good too. Overall throughout the car, they have great settings for audio, for you to balance out your audio settings based on where you like to hear the music more. Okay, moving on to things that I wish was better. This car definitely lacks space to have a compartment where you can store your driving glasses or your goggles. Like most cars do, they have a compartment here or somewhere here for you to store your glasses, but this car doesn't. So that is one thing that could definitely be improved upon. The other thing that I think would be better, there's no button to open the back trunk. I don't know, I haven't figured it out in 2 years, but the only way I do it is to get out of the car, unlock the car, and then open the trunk manually. So there's no real button which you can push to disengage or open the back trunk. That is probably an enhancement they could work on. Talking about mileage or full battery capacity, since this is an EV, 247 I think is when it started off at 100%. That was what the company said with 100% battery capacity would be. I think I always saw about 220 and not more than that. But in the 2 years, I haven't seen it significantly drop. I think when I charge my car full these days, I see it show about 218, 216. And I think it does a decent job of covering at least 200 plus miles on that. So maybe 5 to 10% reduction overall, but not significant enough that you would notice it. So in 2 years, the battery capacity hasn't really gone down as much. And as you can see, I've driven it for about 26,000 miles in 24 months. So yeah, decent battery performance. It takes about 8 hours to fully charge on a level 2 charger. Decent battery capacity for a commuter car. The other great thing about this car is I like the comfort of the seats. I think every seat is very comfortable. It's not like just the front seats are comfortable and the back ones aren't. I think every seat is equally comfortable in my experience. Also, the sensors on the car are really good, both the camera sensors and the actual sensors. So if there's a pedestrian crossing in the front or the back of the car, or if there's a car approaching your vehicle in the back direction, in either direction on the back side, it does a pretty good job of indicating it on your dashboard right here. So it has really good safety features that way. And some things that I still keep learning to this date is the different indications that I keep getting. Sometimes it would detect a car which is a few meters away, even though I cannot see it in my camera view, and would let me know or alert me to pay attention when I'm backing up into a spot or backing out of my driveway. So great safety features that way, the cameras and the sensors. Okay, another area of improvement is this car doesn't really tell you. I don't know if most cars do, but what I would love to have is, more often than not, I end up leaving my phone here on the charging pad and I step out of the car only to realize at my office or my home that my phone's left in my car. So if there could be an indication like how the car alarm beeps when you leave these fob keys inside and you try to step out of the car, it does alert you with a pretty heavy sounding beep that the keys are in the car. If something similar could be in place for the phone left in the car, especially when it's being charged, I think it's easy to detect that. That would be a great addition, a great user experience feature for sure. So an area of improvement definitely is to have an alert for phone left in the car along with the fob keys left in the car. And here's another weird thing that I experienced with these fob keys. I did accidentally close the trunk on it once, and the trunk actually closed on me, which is not a good feature. If you have your fob keys anywhere in your car, the trunk or the door should not be locked or should not get locked. But it did lock on me, the trunk, and I had to drive a couple hours to get my spare key. So yeah, that would be a good security feature, is to have this not lock on you if you have the fob in the car, in the trunk or in the front. So the first thing that I would like to share is that the rims of this car are really beautiful. Everybody talks about these things when I drive it around, so they really like its unique design. Also, the tires have done a great job in 2 years and 25,000 miles of driving. As you can see, they still have pretty good tread on them, and the depth, as you can see, is pretty deep. So yeah, even with 25,000 miles of a usage, I still see the tires being in decent condition. The fog lamps and the headlights are really good. I always use the auto settings, so the high beam, low beam, and the turning on and off of the lights is all auto controlled, which is a great feature. I don't have to worry about it. Sometimes I've noticed what I would have expected to have done better is, after you're done charging, if it notices that the charger is unplugged, they could have done an auto switch mechanism where this flap automatically closes, because sometimes when you're in a rush, you would unplug the charger but forget to close this flap, and only to realize that you started driving and there's an indication on your dash. So yeah, a scope for improvement is to have this mechanism automated, so it detects charger unplugged or charger not unplugged for about a few seconds. Or better yet, if you're driving and it notices that the flap is open, it automatically closes the flap. So that could be an automated mechanized motor update if possible. I also like the rear view mirrors, so they do a great job of indicating an approaching vehicle. The doors have been great. The cameras in the back of the vehicle do a very good job. One of the best things about this car is its rear view full vision that covers about 3 lanes, so you don't really have to use the side rear view mirrors as much. So I love the rear view camera, which you can see in that rear view mirror, which actually acts as a display showing entirely 3 lanes behind you. So that's a great feature about this car. Other than that, it's a pretty, I think, basic commuter car. Even its premium version is pretty decent. There's nothing major happening outside in the exterior of the car, but definitely it looks clean and it looks apart from other EVs out there. Talking about rear view mirrors, another suggestion for improvement is to have these side rear view mirrors or motor operated. That way you don't have to manually do this when you exit the car, and they could do it on their own just like other vehicles in the market today. So having this automated to close when the vehicle's parked and locked would be a great enhancement as well, so you don't have to worry about closing the ears every time you get out of the vehicle and move away from the car. So having this automated would be great. Having the flap of the charger automated to be great would be great. These are the two enhancements that I would recommend Chevy to look into. Other than that, I think all the cameras around the car, in the front, in the back, and the sides, do an excellent job helping you assist during parking. While pulling into a driveway or pulling out of a driveway, they do a pretty decent job of showing you as many angles as possible. One of the best features is the top view. When you're in reverse, you can actually see the top view of the car, which gives you a good idea about where you're going in and out when it comes to tight spaces, as well as if you're going in and out of a cluttered parking garage. That happens more often than not. Overall, I think the exterior of this car is pretty decent. I would rate it 9 out of 10 based on the 2-year user experience that I've had on this thing. The suspension is pretty decent for the price tag of this vehicle. The other thing that I wish it had is the trunk. If it was remote operable, this trunk is manual, and basically the button of the trunk is also at a very tricky spot under the license tag, which many people who are not used to the car have a tough time finding. Other than that, the exteriors of the car, all the cameras, the indicators, the lights, the tires, the suspension, all of that has been doing a pretty great job for 2 years and about 25,000 miles on this vehicle.